Welcome back, friends. So, we're going to continue on with our VIP books. And our next part, at this point, we've already completed the basics, right? We've worked on adding our favorite things, our birthday, we've worked on our identity portraits, and we've started gathering photos for our family photo pages. Now it's time to get started with those mini essays, okay? So, something to think about before we start any of those mini essays. I want you to sing that sentence song to yourself. Does it start with a capital letter? Are there spaces between the words? Does it tell a whole idea to everyone? Is there a question mark, exclamation point, or period at the end? If these four things are true, then your sentence is done. Okay. So every time you're writing any of these mini essays, I want you to make sure that you're going back to that sentence writing checklist so that we can just make sure we're doing our best work. Okay. Sing that song to yourself while you are writing. Now, friends, our first mini essay is all about family, okay? And we've talked a lot about this year, how every family is different, and that makes family special, right? And so I want you to describe the people and pets, yes, we think of pets as family members, who are part of your immediate, extended, or chosen family. Okay, so what do I mean by immediate, extended, or chosen? Well, immediate, usually we think about our siblings, our parents, our grandparents. That's usually when we're thinking about immediate family. If we're talking about a family tree, those are the members who are close on our family tree, right? Extended family members, we start branching out a little bit further, thinking about aunts, uncles, cousins, okay? Chosen family, you may not have heard that term before, and I'll give you some examples what I mean by chosen family. Because families are all different, and that makes families beautiful. Sometimes we have people who we welcome into our families who aren't necessarily biologically related to us, but they are an important part of our families. And I'll give you some examples. So, when I was a kid, my family moved from England to the United States, and we didn't know any other British people, English people in our neighborhood until around fourth or fifth grade when my family met another British family. Now, that family became really, really important to us because it reminded us of a connection to England. And we had a lot of shared traditions, shared cultural things, right? And so that gave us a chance to connect with another family in a way that we couldn't connect with some of our new American friends. And so those people basically became my chosen family. Those neighbors became like my aunt and uncle, right? So that's an example of a chosen family member. Maybe your babysitter has become a part of your family because they've been with you for so long. I'll give you another example from my life. When I was in high school, one of my friends, good friends' family, a parent became sick, and that friend came and moved in with us for a brief period of time. And since they were living in our house, we treated them like a family member. And so they even became part of my chosen family. That's how I kind of consider them to be. And so all families look very different, right? That's a beautiful thing about families. So I want to hear about your different families. What makes your family different and special? So that's going to be your first mini essay. I can't wait to read all about your family members. Okay. And the cool thing about in this book is once right after that family essay, we'll get to look at family photos that you've been gathering. The next mini essay, friends, is about your hero. Not all superheroes wear capes. So I want you to think of someone, a real life person. We're not going to write about Spider-Man or Wonder Woman. A real life person in your life who you admire, meaning somebody who inspires you to be your best self. And describe all the reasons why this person um, inspires you, right? This might be maybe a parent, an aunt or uncle, a coach. Maybe it's a teacher you had in the past. Think of all of those people, a counselor at the school. Think of all those people who have inspired you in your life. Choose one of them to describe. Tell me all the reasons why they inspired you. Okay. So that's going to be the 2 mini essays that we work on this week. Okay. And since this is an independent project, this is one of the first times then when you guys have had the ability to kind of choose and determine when you are going to do this assignment, right? Since you are going to have about 2 weeks to finish it, you're going to have to manage your time and figure out when to do this and um, when maybe your parents are available to help you, because that's okay with this assignment. You can certainly work with your siblings, you can work with your babysitter, you can work with a parent, whoever is going to help you. I'm happy for you guys to work alongside with them. But you have to figure out, how can I space out my work so that I make sure that I get all of this done in the next 2 weeks? I don't want people getting home on Thursday in 2 weeks with just one night to do all of this, because then we wouldn't end up doing our best work, right? So we're going to aim to try and get those two first mini essays, the My Family and My Hero mini essays, done this week. Next week, you're going to move on to the final 2 mini essays, which are My Superpower. Now, I want to hear all about the things, that the skills and hobbies and talents that you have, that you worked really hard to learn. Now, this might be something like hockey that you've been practicing really hard at to become better. Maybe you make jewelry and bracelets and you learned how to make different patterns. Maybe a parent taught you to sew and you've been working really hard at that. Maybe you've worked really hard at your multiplication times tables, and that's a skill that you want to describe getting better at. We all have superpowers, all of us. We have things that we've worked hard at. We don't have to be an expert at these things, but I just want to hear the things that you've been working hard at and learning to get better at. Okay. Your superpowers. And then your final mini essay for VIP will be all about your future. You're going to hop in a time machine in your imagination and try to imagine what you will be doing in the year 2050. That sounds like a long time from now. And it kind of is, right? But I want to hear what you think you'll be doing in the year 2050. I'm doing the math in my head trying to figure out how many years that is. That's 29 years from now. You'll be about 38 years old then. So, what do you think the world will look like? What will you be doing then? Maybe what you could describe a dream job that you might have. Maybe you could describe where you think you might be living, what your family might look like. This will be a really, really fun activity to go back and read in 2050 and see how accurate you were. So take time before you get started writing. Remember, we always do that kind of pre-writing activity. Maybe you want to just jot some ideas down before you jump right in, but you want to, or maybe even just talk to a family member to try and brainstorm and think of some ideas that you might be able to write about. But this is going to be a really fun one. I can't wait to read these. So, friends, each one of these mini essays just has one page. You might end up wanting to write more, and that's why we've included these blank pages. Okay, there's a bunch of blank pages in your green folders. So if your essays go over one page, don't worry, just grab one of those extra pages and you can continue writing. Okay. So that's the VIP project, friends. You got about 2 weeks to work on this. We'll give you reminders about when you might want to get started on different parts. There's 7 steps. You're just going to go through each one of those 7 steps. And by the end of all of this, friends, you're going to have this beautiful keepsake, this memory of this year, of all the hard work that you've been doing as writers. And I can't wait to read what you come up with. All right, friends, good luck.